Over 1,000 lives lost in an instant. The collapse of the Rana Plaza textile factory in Bangladesh shone a light on the appalling conditions faced by many of the world's factory workers. Now, exactly 10 years on, have lessons been learned? Well, let's discuss what has or hasn't changed in the decades since the tragedy at Rana Plaza with Alka Bersiger, Deputy General Secretary of Uni Global Union, which represents service workers around the world. Alka, I suppose the place to start here 10 years later is to ask, could Rana Plaza happen again?
Well, thank you for talking to me today. Unfortunately, I would say we are not in a situation yet in the world where a Rana Plaza could not happen somewhere else in any other country. I believe in Bangladesh, we have made a lot of progress. Certainly the factories that have been covered by the accord are much, much safer than they were 10 years ago. But we are only at the beginning of our program, which we're planning to expand into other countries. And I would say the risk of an industrial disaster of the dimensions of Rana Plaza happening in another country is not unlikely.
The record you mentioned, this has been signed up to by many brands, but what does it require of them and how has that brought about change in the past decade?
So following the Rana Plaza collapse in 2013, we signed an agreement with the leading global retailers and brands. We have signed a series of additional agreements following that. More than 200 companies worldwide signed on to this agreement, and they made a commitment to, first of all, require the factories that they work with to make the buildings safe. We have an agreed standard that is agreed with the government of Bangladesh, and through engineer-conducted audits by the program that we have established, the factories have been required to make changes so that workers are safe when they go into the factory. But in addition to that, and that's a very important part of our program, we have trained both workers and managers in the factories to set up health and safety committee and to be alert to understand what requirements there are for a factory to be safe. And a very important element that we have included into this agreement is also that workers can actually make a complaint about issues that they're finding in their factories. We have an independent complaint mechanism, which is recognized as the most credible complaints mechanism out there in the world, where factories can be reported when workers find that there are safety issues, and those reports will be investigated by the team that we have on the ground in Bangladesh, and then those issues will be taken up.
That does only cover Bangladesh, where it seems like there has been progress over the past decade, but you sort of hinted earlier that beyond Bangladesh there are concerns in other countries. Where should we be looking to now to spot the sort of potential for something like Rana Plaza?
What we have done with the international accord is to look at a number of countries where the brands that have signed this agreement are sourcing from. And we have identified Pakistan as the next country that we're expanding the accord to. We're in discussions with the government of Pakistan. We're in discussions with the brands, with the industry in Pakistan about setting up a program there, which will take the lessons learned from Bangladesh, include the same elements, which are inspections and remediation, safety training programs for managers and workers, and the complaints mechanism. And we will develop those into a specific program for Pakistan. And that's the first country we're going to. And we have, of course, the ambition to expand our program into other countries as well. But Pakistan is the next one where we're going to start operations.
Now, I remember back 10 years ago after the tragedy that there was a lot of soul-searching among many of us as consumers, thinking about, well, have we in any way contributed to what's happened here by the choices we've made in terms of how much we're willing to pay for certain products or who we buy those products from? Is there anything that consumers can be doing to play their own part in sort of preventing the sorts of conditions forming that were the conditions that allowed Rana Plaza to happen?
One thing that unfortunately has not improved as much as the safety in the factories is the wages and salaries that are being paid to the factory workers. And a lot of that has to do with the prices that our brands are prepared to pay for the products that are being made in those factories. That's a problem that we're seeing. It's not part of the program that we have, but it's certainly an element that needs to be developed. And consumers can make their contribution by, first of all, checking where the products that they're buying are being made to make. First of all, make sure that they come from a safe factory that is covered by the Accord, but also by requiring or asking of the brands that they're buying their products from, asking them to pay fair wages to the workers that are making their products.
Okay, Elke Bursiger from Uni Global Union. Thanks a lot for joining us on DW Business.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.